Answer time. Let's get to it. Yeah. Komadiite. BIF. Jello or pudding? Jello pudding. I don't like the homemade pudding, actually. I'm not a big fan of pudding skin. Some people like it. I find it gross. Thought patterns. Does your atheism create issues between you and your family and friends? My friends are my friends. We tend to think alike, though at some parties I do tend to get into discussions with some more agnostic people to try to have them at least clarify their position or maybe investigate their lack of decision making. That's about it. I'm not really friends with any people that are religious. Our personalities just don't tend to mesh. Not that I've ever lost a friend because they were religious and I wasn't. It's just it has never come up. It's just I just don't generally travel in those circles. It just never happened. Even in school, it's like even the friends that I had in like middle school and high school. Now, if I meet them now, they're as practiced non-religious as I am. They might not take such an open stance about it, but we don't have any logical disagreements with each other. Uber logic. Why do stray cats taste so good with sesame seeds and duck sauce? I've never actually eaten stray cat before, but I would think they would actually be tough and stringy and not very good at all. GBCE. Why is your mom so pretty? That's a comment of my wife. It was on a different video. Don't worry about it. Real question. Let's say you were giving the following offer. Eradicate religion in all of its forms, including superstition, astrology, etc. However, the cost of doing so is your own life. Would you trade your life in this manner in order to potentially improve the world? No. And is it purely for selfish reasons? No, I don't think so. I'd probably devastate my wife to have me die. I'd hate to put her through that. Actually, that's the main reason why I didn't join the military out of high school. Because we were together junior year, senior year, and I didn't want to put her through that. I didn't want to be separated or put in a place where I'd be in danger. Because I didn't want her to have to deal with it. So it's the same sort of thing. I don't want to sacrifice myself for her sake. But still, it doesn't matter. I mean, the root problem is people believing in stupid stuff. If I could eradicate all superstition now, if the fundamental thought processes of my fellow human beings doesn't change at the physical level in their heads, then ideas like this will continue to be born. People will continue to jump to conclusions, to anthropomorphize things when it's not justified to do so, because we're geared to do that. I think that we really need to evolve socially to have our educational system encourage rational thought to the point where people don't jump to conclusions like this. It's not something you can just snap your fingers and wipe away. We're going to have to learn this over time. And I see steps, just in my lifetime, I see steps definitely going in that direction, where people that are non-religious are becoming more open, and the percentage, at least poll-wise, the percentage in the U.S. is increasing over time, especially just in the past couple of years. So I think we'll probably get there without me having to sacrifice myself and ruin the life for my loved ones. 128-page novella. Is your chair real or imitation leather? It's real, actually. It was a present from my parents. It was a chair. It was on sale at Sam's Club. It came in a box, and I put it together. And I've had the thing for years, since before I owned my house, actually. This chair's almost 10 years old. Still comfy, but I'm kind of wearing it out. I sit in it a lot, so it's getting a little worn out here, and I lean on the armrest a bit much, so I'm getting some wearing patterns there too, but yeah, it's real. Nagroback78. How would you deal with zombie apocalypse? I've made a couple of videos about this before. I think gather cat's wife, truck, supplies, actually we'll probably caravan the 2 vehicles, get some extra gas, and head to someplace cold. Like, actually we're fairly close to Canada, so I'd probably just go north. That's assuming that zombies will freeze. But do you think we should start preparations just in case right now? No, zombies are not real. Hate to break it to you. Yet, anyway. So no stockpiling is necessary. Zombies are just fiction. Still, it's interesting to think about what you would do in a survival situation. MJ Havoc. Question 1. What is the cooler concept, emergence or self-assembly? They're both kind of cool when you think about it, but upon further investigation, self-assembly is almost trivially apparent. It's like purely chemical, the construction of polymers and proteins is determined entirely by the electron orbitals and the way that atoms tend to bond with each other. And they form these geometric patterns, and of course they'll attach in chains if you give them enough. So put enough ingredients in a pot, stir it up, and guess what? They're going to bond in this way, and it's mathematically predictable. It's almost duh, right? It's almost a duh thing. Emergence, to me, is a much more interesting concept because it's kind of counterintuitive. Like the big emergent property that we're still trying to get a handle on is consciousness, and how the system of neurons in our heads, if you put enough of these things together and have them communicate with each other, eventually you get something that's more than the sum of its parts. That's not immediately apparent when you look at the basics of the construction at the smallest part. You have to have this whole thing as a system, and then you've got really interesting manifestations, really interesting behaviors going on. So emergence is definitely a much more interesting concept to me, because it seems almost magical, right? It's almost like there's a jump that goes. It's like you've got a collection of neurons that's working in a way, and then all of a sudden something's conscious. I actually think that specifically consciousness is going to be something that we find is scalar, and not like, oh, you need 10,000 neurons and then boom, you're conscious. It's going to be one of those things where the line between what we consider consciousness and what isn't is real fuzzy, and that it's a progressive and scalar design, lacking wording. I can't think of another better word for that. Question 2, Dawkins or Gould? Well, it depends on what I want them to do. I find Dawkins a better author, and a bit more amiable. Gould, I think, tends to talk over, though he can't quite help it. He's just, he's just that smart. I think Dawkins is better at explaining things at a layman level, so Dawkins. And I'm coming up on 9.5 minutes, so I'll continue this in the next video.